Hey guys, how are you? It's Max Powers. It is Sunday morning, and I just got out of the woods. I went and picked up that audio recorder, and right now, and I just got a cup of coffee. It was about, I guess it was about 14 degrees when I went in the woods. It was kind of cold, but not really. Like, it wasn't cold for me, but apparently it was cold for my camera. So it wouldn't film anything. I tried to give one of my monologues, my rambling monologues, that I try and hold a thought for longer than a second, but it doesn't generally happen. So my life used to be lecturing. I used to travel around the world, and I would lecture on certain subjects, and it was a pretty good job. But I could remember I never wrote one of my lectures down. I just knew them, and I would be able to just expound on, whatever, the world or whatever I was talking about that day. And I can't do that anymore, and I feel like you guys are getting the brunt of it, because I try and just hold a thought and say, I saw a tree, and it doesn't come out. So I apologize to you for that. I have some scars in my brain, apparently, so this is also my therapy. I'm trying to figure out how to hold a thought, and maybe I'll be able to get back to work someday. But anyway, I don't want any poor me's. Just know when I ramble that I'm trying to hold a thought, and it doesn't always happen. So I'm going to take some coffee. Hold on. It was a beautiful cold walk in the woods. I picked up my digital recorder, which I just found out I can play via Bluetooth over the speakers of my car while I drive, so I can listen to it while I'm on the road, which is awesome. So I'll be able to listen to all that audio. There's about 12 hours of audio on it. I've listened to like the first 10 minutes already, and there's a weird, almost metallic noise. I don't know what it is. I haven't figured that out yet. I guess I'm gonna have to put a trail cam up there too. I don't know. But as I was going out there, I was trying to do one of my rambling monologues, such as this, and talk about my concerns about we'll just call it BS. I was looking for a word that I could say. It's the same word, it's just a shortened version. I'm concerned about BS in the Bigfoot world. I'm concerned about researchers who every leaf, every stick that breaks, every leaf that falls, whatever, are Bigfoot. I want to go on the record as saying that these structures, which I've now shown you, stick leans and X's, and which I found another one today, by the way, I don't necessarily think they're Bigfoot, and that's why I put this recorder out. I mentioned that to Christopher Noel. These aren't Bigfoot, these are our people. And he said, well, don't you make that choice. Go out, put the recorder in the woods, and let that make the choice. If you start to hear whoops and knocks and what have you. So the recorder is going to be a key thing. But I'm concerned about the BS factor in the Bigfoot world, and how everything is Bigfoot. And I don't think it is. And I don't honestly think that these structures are Bigfoot, but that is yet to be determined. And I think that's the key point to my research here. Normally I would go up to the woods of New Hampshire, etc., etc. I think I mentioned that the other day, where I can get away from people, which you can't do down here. I'm driving down the road, and I don't know if you can see all the cars in the rearview mirror. Even though it's the middle of winter on Cape Cod and we are a summer resort, this place is pretty much jam-packed. So that woods is pretty much jam-packed. Although early on a Sunday morning at 14 degrees, I had it pretty much to myself today. I'm also realizing that I don't get cold, which is a fear of mine, because I was out there. I've just got this. I mean, it's a North Face, and this is a wool sweater, and I've got my bean base layer, but I think it's a thin base layer. It might be a medium base layer. It's not a heck of a lot of clothes, considering that it's 14 degrees outside. So I had the woods to myself. And I wasn't cold. Where am I going with this? My camera. My camera froze. And when I went to pick up the voice recorder, it was off. So if any of you have any suggestions for recording in cold weather, whether it be video or audio or both, anything I can do to keep these things from cooling down so much. Oh yeah, just pull out, buddy. That's always good. Excuse me. People have more confidence in my brakes than I do. You would think once they saw the Land Rover symbol, they would not want to pull directly in front of me. But anyway. So yeah, my gear is freezing up. And I don't know how to... I gave this wonderful monologue in the woods, and I was like, yeah, nailed it. And I looked down and the camera had turned off because it got too cold. So if you have any suggestions on that for me, that'd be awesome. I would love to hear that. I will try and get back out there on a warmer day. It's going to be cold for the next few days, but I'll try and get out on a warmer day so that you can see these things that I found. A couple of them now that I found while trying to rush out of the woods yesterday after I dropped the camera off, trying to beat the guy who was locking the gate. I stumbled across, I don't know what to call it. It's a cacophony of woven pine trees and oak trees, and they're just kind of all stuck into each other. I tried to video that today, and I couldn't do that, so I'll take some video of that. I found I don't know, 30-foot X. Like, not one of those little X's that I showed you in I think it went on at midnight last night video. Not one of those little X's, but this was a big honking X, like full trees. I couldn't get far enough in to see the root balls, to see if they were pulled out of the ground, to see if they were broken off, to see what the deal was. But there were two huge white pine trees that formed this, 30-foot, 40-foot, I don't know. I didn't bring my tape measure, and it's only a 24-foot tape measure anyway. But it was a huge X is all I'm saying. So I will videotape all this stuff and show videotape. Yeah, we don't have videotape anymore, but you know what I mean. I'll do all that stuff, and you can see exactly what it is once I have a warm enough day, unless you give me some advice on how to do that. I'm going to have another sip of coffee, and I'm going to let you guys go and get back to your day. I'm on my way to watch a Patriots game. Go Pats, and have a good rest of your day, too.